One of the great things about Taylor Park is that there's many recreational activities and opportunities. Taylor Park is another winter wonderland here in the Gunnison Valley. It's legendary for fishing, and sometimes that ice gets up to about 3 feet thick. Stay with us. We're going to check out a few of the fishing holes and share with you some of the secrets. That's okay. He may have been there, but now he's not there. But that's okay. See, you just keep it jigging gentle like that, and then watch the tip. See how it is? Okay, now put it back down and hold it steady. Because if he's there, that little orange thing is going to go ding, 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 ding. Put your fingers right there like that. Thumb and your finger together. Touch it together right through there. And now he ain't going to go nowhere. Touch your finger and your thumb together. Got him? All right. Well, you got him. Show him to Scott. Well, today happens to be one of those gorgeous days out here on Taylor Reservoir. The sun's out. It's nice and warm. Snowmobiles are running all over the place. But, hey, it's not always that way. And if you look back across towards us right now, sometimes it's worth its weight in gold to have an ice hut that you can set up very quickly, drill a couple of holes, and obviously enjoy some great fishing. If you get in close to shore, you're going to find that that's where the rainbow trout are, some of the brown trout. You come back out into a little bit deeper water, 20 to 45 feet. That's where the Mackinaw are hanging out and hiding. And what we're doing right now is this is an old technique and a little bit of a trick, but it seems to work real well. Matt Riley, who's pretty well known for doing some pretty fantastic Mackinaw fishing here in the Gunnison River Territory, taught me this one. Set up the ice hut, drill a couple of ice holes next to each other. Now, one of the top jigs that always works real well is a tube jig. These are these little lead-headed things, got a rubber skirt on them, and then you sweeten it up with a little piece of sucker meat. Now, a lot of people go in and they get a piece of sucker meat, and they want to put an entire fillet on it. Don't have to do that. All you really want to do is put a little bit of scent in the water. So anything from about 1 inch to 1.5 inches in length is the one that really is going to work the best. What you do is you take it and you put it through the skin first. That helps hold it on the hook. And while it may not look too appetizing to you and me, that actually is a top way to catch the Mackinaws. Now, I've been out here with Matt Riley, and I've been out here with a few other anglers that have nailed fish in the 20, 25, 30-pound range. What we're catching today are obviously some smaller fish, but it's one that also, here's the little trick that you may want to consider, especially when it's blowing and it's cold out here, because sometimes Taylor is known as the Big White Room. Set up your ice hut, drill 2 holes next to each other. Take both of your rods, tip them off with a little bit of sucker meat, and let it drop down to the bottom. Now again, you got to keep in mind, you're fishing in anywhere from 25, maybe even 45, 70 feet of water, because the Mackinaw school through. They don't just seem to hang like the rainbows do. So if you're looking for Mackinaws, you're going to find that the bite is hot, then suddenly it's not. The reason is the fish are moving through, then they move out. But other fish seem to come back into the area. So I'm sitting here with my son Matthew, who's 6 years old at this point. I'm sending my rod all the way down to the bottom. He's already down there. Once the line goes slack, you know you're bouncing on the bottom. You're down in the mud. You click your bail over, and you just bring it up. Maybe a turn, 2 turns from the bottom. Matthew, what did I show you to do? Let's start jigging them up and down. Side by side, now you've got 2 pieces of bait in the water. What you're actually trying to show the fish that are schooling through is come on over and take a closer look. What you're trying to imitate is the fact that you've got several wounded fish. Mackinaw don't want to run through the water and try to pick up something that's big and healthy and running away from them. They'd rather pick up something that is kind of sickly, maybe something that's been wounded. So by us bouncing up and down at exactly the same time, we're in sync with each other. What we're showing the fish is, hey, this is an easy pickings. This is an easy meal. So even if they're just sitting off maybe 15 or 20 feet from us, it's oftentimes enough to absolutely drive them crazy, and even better, drive them in to have a hit.
Dad, I've got a fish.
Dad, I got a fish. What does that just tell you? Bounce him up and down a little bit. Bounce him up and down a little bit. And let it stay until he hits it, until you can see that little tick indicator go ding, ding, ding. During the winter months, the Gunnison Valley really turns into a winter wonderland. When we get back, we're going snowmobiling. And what brings together so many snowmobilers together all in one place? It's the annual poker run at the Inn at Arrowhead. And what is a poker run? Well, it's a fun ride for snowmobilers of all ages and abilities. This event that's held at the Inn at Arrowhead brings together snowmobilers from literally across the state. Each one rides a set course, stopping at 5 different checkpoints. When the riders get back to the inn, it's time to cut the cards and to try to get the best poker hand to see who can win various cash and prizes. This event is a fundraiser for the Montrose Snowmobile Club, and it's run by an all-volunteer staff. And it's truly a social event, with great food, an outside barbecue, and fire. It's like a beach party high in the Rocky Mountains. One of the great things about Taylor Park is that there's many recreational activities and opportunities. Miles and miles of groomed trails that are maintained by the Buena Vista Snow Club make this a great place to go snowmobiling. On this outdoor adventure, we're going to take you along as we snowmobile over to Aspen. Now, during the winter, using conventional transportation, this trip could take upwards of 5 to 6 hours. But, hey, by sled, it only takes 2 hours to travel that 30 miles over Taylor Pass from the Taylor Park Trading Post. The trail from the Taylor Park Trading Post to the base of the Taylor Pass is a very long and straight and fast route. Riding along up to the Continental Divide, the views can be spectacular. As we traveled up the pass towards the crest, that road gets very narrow and it also gets pretty bumpy. But once we reach the top, it's a huge playground with plenty of enough room for racing, ripping, and even times getting a little radical. And all the while enjoying postcard-type scenery. Once we reached our destination, which was the gondola at the top of Aspen Mountain, there was lots of people and lots of things to look at. And, oh look, you wondered where he is? There's Waldo. And, yes, of course, the Aspen cheerleading team. After we relaxed out in the sun and did a little bit of people watching, we got back onto the trail, headed home to Gunnison. Aspen, as we all know, is very different than Crested Butte. Both have plenty of charm, each in their own way. We're a lot more down home on this side of the hill. And of course on the other side of the mountain, well, you know,